fantastic. My favorite message of the morning. Good to know that this meeting is being recorded. Anyways, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm going to try to not be quite as loud as normal today because my kids are sleeping because it's 9 o'clock here and they're teenagers. And my one kid has a sleepover, but you know what? If we get energized and we get like all talking all loud because we're answering a major question today that I'm very passionate about, then so be it. If we wake up the teenagers, so be it, right? They're teenagers. It's not like waking up little babies. Don't ever do that. Don't ever wake the babies, but the teenagers, I don't know, man. Tight. Anyways, so this week was a fantastic week in the Activated as Fuck masterclass that I had going on this week. And it was so good. I've decided to do it again next week, and it will be a paid masterclass next week because it was awesome. Awesome. Let me just say, lots of really good feedback going in and had lots of really deep reflections. And people were like, Chas, were you calling me out? I was like, no. But if you're feeling that way, then oopsies. Sorry, not sorry. Right? But anyways, so today I want to keep it open for you. I did ask some questions or had some questions come up in the Facebook group. So I'm going to use that as a starting point for today. But feel free to ask any questions as it comes up. If you are on Facebook, I can't tell because that's how we roll here on the Facebook land, right? And so if you are on Facebook, please let me know. Okay. Otherwise, grab your coffee, y'all. I don't know why I start talking like I'm Texan every once in a while. I think it's because we're pretty much straight north of Texas. Maybe those vibes keep coming through. I don't know, man. Okay, so Christine had asked, what are 5 foundational pieces to start a business for long-term growth? What a fantastic question. Because this is like pretty much the essence of business coaching, right? This is pretty much the essence of business coaching, is setting up the principles for long-term success. So first of all, I want to start off with starting with clearly defining what you deem as success. Okay, like write it down. What does success look like to you? So what does success look like? Like, how much money could you be making? Ask some what if questions. What if I made, 7 figures? What would that look like in my business? How would that feel? So start to ask, what does success really look like to me? What am I doing? Who am I with? Paint that picture of what it all looks like for you, and then feel into it. Feel into it. So feel what it looks and feels like to be successful. Then you have that energy, right? And from there, you tune into your authentic self, because that's what we've been talking about all week. Tuning into your authentic self, your heart, your intuition, your soul, to help guide you into the principles and the steps that are going to work best for you. And so I don't like to say oh, here's a 5-step process to starting a successful business, because what works for me might be different from what works for you. Because we're different people, we're different businesses, different industries, blah, 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 right? Right. Okay, so number 1, I will say this regardless of what your business is. You need, if you want to start a business, if you want to have a successful business, if you want to grow a big business, you need to have the belief that it is possible with you as the boss. You need to have the belief that you are the boss, the visionary, the mastermind that's guiding that ship. You are the captain of the ship, guiding other people to play their roles into building your success. So you have to believe that you are that person. So are you that person? So, okay, so part of number one, this is all still part of one. And so you got to have the belief, and then you need to have the drive and the commitment. Drive and commitment. Because life throws circumstances all over, right? Somebody got sick, you got sick, the economy crashes, houses burn down, like life happens, right? And you can't control those things. You can't. And so you got to have the drive and the commitment that you are going to stay in it regardless of whatever happens. That is your decision to make. The decision to make is to stay committed, and like it will happen. It is happening. Okay, so that when like, oh, you don't make as much money as you wanted to this month, whatever, what's the lesson to be learned, and move forward. Because if you're gonna like hit a wall and stop, it's you stopping that stands in the way of your success, right? We all know the picture of the guy who's like digging for diamonds. There's the two guys, there's the one person on the top and there's the one person on the bottom, and they're both digging tunnels trying to get to the big pile of diamonds at the end. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's sweat pouring, and right, like it's just a lot of work. And so then one guy is like, I'm too tired, I can't do this anymore. And he turns around and walks out. Meanwhile, he was like inches away from hitting all the diamonds and having the abundance of wealth. But because he chose to quit, choose to quit. Let me have some more coffee. He didn't reach the diamonds. He didn't reach the level of success. So are you committed? Like ask yourself honestly, and put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, how committed am I to this business on a scale of 1 to 10? And be honest with yourself, because it honestly does nobody any good if you're not being honest with yourself. Okay, like ask yourself what you feel and what you think. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you are doing this regardless of whatever comes your way. That's how I am with my coaching business, because I know I'm put on the planet to be a coach. And so like 1 is like, nope, I'm not committed. As soon as something happens, I'm out. Okay, so ask yourself honestly, not what you think you should be answering, but what you are, right? So if at any time, if any questions come up, even if you're on Instagram, please type them in, and I keep moving my computer so I can see it, because I go live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. Okay, so that's number 1, drive, commitment, and belief. Number 2, you need to have an irresistible offer. You're simply irresistible. Is that Robert Palmer? I think so. Anyways, the simply irresistible offer. How are you changing people's lives, and why should you? And what's the benefit? Right? So the irresistible offer is like, if you were to read something and be like, shit, I gotta buy that. That was the irresistible offer. That was the wording of the messaging, which kind of goes into the next point. But the wording of the messaging, but the offer itself, the program, the package, whatever it is, the pricing, those are part of the irresistible offer. But it's who you help, what you do, and what the benefit is to your person. Basically, what problem are you solving and how are you solving it? So I am doing a whole bigger program on that in, I believe, October, possibly September. I can't quite remember where I have it on my schedule. But one of those months, I'm going to do like a 2-week program so we can dig in really deep into your offer. Okay. And so yeah, so that's the plan for October, but hey, that's not going to help you now, is it? So think as you're looking at like what you do and how you promote that. I always think of like your Instagram bio as a really great place to start on that, because it's short and it's concise. And so you need to have your message in there really tight, right? Who do you help? What do you do? Why you do it? And like in Instagram, you're not going to put in the pricing or anything like that, but basically be irresistible. So be irresistible in your wording, be irresistible on how you help people and change their life. That's your business. Be irresistible in you. You are the reason why people buy from you, right? Regardless of what business you have. You are the reason why people buy from you. When Steve Jobs was the CEO of Apple, there was a very significant difference from when, I forget, Steve Ballmer, was he the next guy, took over. People like Steve Jobs. That's been proven, like the Walmart guy, Sam Walton. He had a great vision, a great leader, great purpose for Walmart. Then the next guy, some Mark guy, takes over and sales plummet. So people still buy from you regardless of how big or small or what you sell, because they like you, because you hold the vision of your business. Okay, so one, the foundational pieces to starting a business for long-term growth: be driven, committed, believe in yourself. Two, have the irresistible offer. And that can change as you scale. So it's kind of a little bit of a scalable offer. Three is the consistent messaging. Be consistent. Like, this is where some of my clients might be like, hey, are you calling me out? Are you feeling like you're triggered or activated? Triggered or activated, right? Triggered. If I say something and you're like, oh, Chelsea, you hit a button there. That's triggered. But are you going to decide to stay triggered and not do anything about it? Or do you want to switch that vibe and choose to be activated and change it? So when you're activated, that's when you create the change that you want. So if you don't feel like you're consistent in your messaging, in your promoting, in showing up for your business, then what needs to change? And why? Consistency always wins. When you're trying to lose weight, this is like, I'll make comparisons to the fitness and health industry all the time. Because I was in it for like 15 years. But anyways, when you're trying to lose weight, you cannot eat good all week. You eat all the lettuce, you eat all the plain chicken breast, you eat all the plain rice, you like eat all the vegetables in the world, you eat no chips, no chocolate, no sugar, and then comes Friday night and you eat a whole pizza. Saturday morning, you eat a loaf of bread for your French toast. Then you have some like chips in the afternoon for a snack. And then you have like some Wendy's for dinner, you know? So you just sabotaged your whole week worth of work because you're not consistent. So you're never going to lose weight if you're going to sabotage yourself on the weekend. So you need to be consistent in how you eat if you want to see weight loss. So if you want to see business growth, you need to be consistent and stay committed to implementing the plans that you have, which leads me to point 4, is having a marketing and sales strategy. Write it out. First thing, when I started working with my business coach in 2010, first thing he said is like, what's your marketing plan for the year? I'm like, I don't know, get clients. How are you getting clients, Jess? I don't know. So make a plan. Make a plan. So maybe you want to do a trade show in April. Maybe, and set up a table. Maybe you want to do some markets all through the summer. Maybe you want to, use social media as a platform for marketing. So then you also do that consistently, right? And you plan out like maybe when you're going to launch certain programs, right? Or certain offers, or maybe you have a sale on for cleaning in November or something, because maybe November isn't a high peak time, so you offer a sale. So you look at how the seasonality is of your business and you plan for it. Okay, if it's booming and you're like, I'm just going to use cleaning business as an example, or massage. If you know that December is packed of people trying to use up all their benefits, you don't need to promote yourself very much. You need to put it out there a little bit that you're open for this, but you're already going to be booked with your existing clients. So if you start doing some heavy promotion and doing ads and stuff and like really driving traffic to you, then it's like you're not going to be able to service those people because you're already booked up, right? But like in July, when everyone's on vacation, then maybe you're not as busy because people aren't like sitting at their desks all day. They're not feeling the pains maybe as much. So that's when you maybe want to do some more promoting on like preventive of using massage as a preventative medicine. Yes, I know how to talk, right? Let's have some more coffee chat. Okay. Cheers. Thanks to Sweet Amber, one of my Instagram friends who came to my rescue on how to make my coffee better, because I've been having coffee grounds in my coffee lately and it's been driving me crazy. So thank you. Gonna clean my pot later. Okay, so 5, so your sales and marketing plan. Marketing, like I always say, is know, like, and trust, and having activities for how people are gonna know who you are, how they're gonna like you, and how they're gonna trust you to buy. So have that plan. Happy to help you make that plan. That's what I do as a coach and a mentor, right? That's the business strategy stuff that I love to work on. Okay, so ask and I help. No ask, no help. That's how I roll. Anyways, 5, have your plan to scale. How are you going to scale up? Okay, so I'm going to use massages again. How can you possibly grow your massage business by yourself? Because there's only so many hours in a day. Massage is one-on-one. Really hard to do group massages because group is usually a way that like I can scale as a personal trainer. I start doing small group training, right? That's one way to scale as a personal trainer. As a coach, I start doing group calls. That's how I can access more people or I work with more people, right? But as like a one-on-one service, it's like, how can I scale and grow when I only have so many hours in a day, right? If you're a cleaner and you only have so many hours in a day that you can work, what's the plan to scale? Usually that's when you hire the staff, right? You hire the staff, you pay them, you pay yourself, right? And then you can service way more people and you will always make at least a 30% profit. And that's one way to scale. One way to scale. Okay, so what is your scalable plan for growth? So having that plan, seeing when on the timeline you would like to see this come through, right? So planning it a little bit, but sometimes life just happens and it's like, oh shit, I got a bunch of clients. What am I gonna do? Thanks. Right? So what's your scalable plan? So having that plan. Okay, so that's the 5 foundational pieces to starting a business for long-term growth is belief, irresistible offer, consistent messaging, having the sales and marketing plan, and having the scalable plan. Any questions about that? Feel free to ask. I'm here, wide open spaces. Music kind of day. Movement gets the energy flowing. Okay, so then Della asks, what are some tools for people pleasing and for boundaries? And I was like, bam, this is a whole program, right? Because how many of you, every once in a while, find yourself pleasing people, doing things in your business and personal life to make other people happy? This is real, you guys. This is real. You know where this shows up the most is in your pricing. In the pricing that you have for your business is where people pleasing usually shows up the most, because you're like, oh, what are people going to pay for it? And some business coaches will say that that's how you should price. It's like, what are your competitors pricing? Ask your customers what they're willing to pay, right? But let me tell you one thing. Customers always want to pay the least amount, right? You do, right? You want to pay the least amount possible for the value that you get, right? Of course. That's our human nature, right? We're human. And so in asking other people what they would pay, you're setting up your business to please other people, to please random strangers, to please people who might not even be your ideal client, to please people who might not ever even buy from you. But yet you're basically setting up your whole business for that person. And then your success is on the line. Your profitability is on the line, right? That makes sense. So pricing is a big place where that stands out. Also, I am a recovering people pleaser. And so I speak this from what I've learned. Okay. So this is like truly from my heart on what I know about people pleasing. And this is why people pleasing leads to burnout, because you're putting your energy everywhere else. You're putting your energy in so many different places. So many different places. You're trying to please people who don't even know you exist. You're trying to please your family. You're trying to please your mom. You're trying to please your kids. You're trying to please your husband. You're trying to please your friends. You're trying to please your clients. Like, you're just all over. Your energy is scattered all over. And it's like, right? So much all over instead of condensed energy. Condensed energy. And that's why I'm such a believer in like knowing your authentic self and coming back to your authentic self, your intuition, your heart, your soul, your highest self, however you want to term it. And know who you are. Know who you are and all your worthiness. Even though the universe has never changed its eyes on you, you are always the same worthiness in the eyes of God and in the universe, spirit. That never changes. Know that. Your worthiness in the eyes of your creator never changes. Okay? It's how you perceive it and what you do with it. It's your thoughts and your feelings and your mind that try to tell you that you are not worthy of pleasing yourself and that you have to find your value in other people. Because that's really what people pleasing is trying to find your value in other people. So one way to solve that is to write out the I am statements. And I do this with my clients all the time. It's like, write out 20 I am beautiful. I am smart. I am loving. I am compassionate. Write out all those statements every damn day if you have to. Because that's that belief in yourself. So that's the one main thing I'd say to do, is to know your I am statements. Okay, so because like we all know the analogy of like you're on the plane and you have to like pull your own oxygen mask on first before you can help other people. So you have to be true and know who you are first before you can help other people. Otherwise, you're just all over. You're just giving, 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 and you're going to burn out. Speaking from experience, okay? Speaking from experience. So take the time to know who you are and what your boundaries are. So in the question, it was about what boundaries do you want to set? Okay, I'm going to ask you, what boundaries do you want to set? What boundaries do you want to set in your family? It's like, no, you cannot say that to me. No. What are the no's that you cannot, that people are not allowed to say to you? You are not allowed to ask me to work on a Sunday morning. That's my boundary. No. No, 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 no. Right? So what are the boundaries that you have? First, and then I want to get into like, okay, so I thought of this driving analogy this morning. So staying in your lane, right? Like when you're driving down the highway, you're driving down Deerfoot. So we live in Calgary, freeway. I'm driving on the freeway. And there's like 1,000 other vehicles. 1,000 other vehicles going down same way, all going down the same way. And you're like, oh, let me just slow down so that person can pass me. Let me like drive slower so that person can go faster. Let me just pull off to the side of the road and just so I can just let traffic go by, you know, so that person can have a better driving experience. Like, let me keep switching lanes because, oh, there's a car behind me, and so I better do something so that they can, you know, drive their speed or their way. But staying in your lane, heading toward the direction that you want to go. Staying in your lane, and you don't care what's happening in 4 lanes over from you. That is defensive driving a little bit, but when you're looking at like, what's going on over in that lane? What's going on over in that lane? Are they okay? What's going on over there? You know, oh, that person's going too fast. Oh, that person's going too slow. Your direction, your focus is on everything else except where you want to go. So people pleasing, you stop people pleasing when you decide that you are going to where you want to go. And everybody else can do their thing. Comparing yourself to others is going to show up quite a bit when you're a people pleaser, because you're never going to be enough for that other person. So stay in your lane, stay focused on where you want to go. Stay focused on that North Star. And then it's like setting the boundaries. Are you helping me or are you standing in my way? Is this helping me or is that standing in my way? That goes back to what we talked about on Tuesday with the core values and like my favorite F words. If it's making me feel like I'm in a box, I'm not doing it. If this is like something fun, yeah, I'm going to do it. So those are my boundaries, right? If it's going to suck my soul to like do something in my business, I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me. I'm not going to show up how I need to be. Or you get a client that you're like, oh my God, this client's the worst. This is the nightmare client. Fire the nightmare client. Just fire the nightmare client because they're going to be a nightmare. And you don't deserve a nightmare, right? Teach people how you want to be treated. Teach people how you want to be treated, and that's with your boundaries. So I would like to hear a list of 10 boundaries that you have, that you would like to have, so that you're not pleasing others, so that you can stay focused on your drive, right? Back to that whole thing at the beginning of our talk, your drive, so that you can stay focused and committed to your lane. Because that's where all the diamonds are going to be, right? And so another thing about people pleasing is, okay, so I had wrote some notes before this, so I know I could come back to them. And so it's time to get selfish. The first time my coach said, she asked me, because selfish had come on, and it's like, oh, I feel that if I make this amount of money, I'm being really selfish. Or if I'm charging this amount of money, that I'm being selfish. And she's like, Chas, why is it bad to be selfish? Okay, so why is it bad to be selfish? Because I was taught through my parents, my grandparents, my society, my religious upbringing, that selfish is bad and that you need to be selfless. Okay. What are some circumstances where it's actually good to be selfish? When you're in a dangerous situation, fuck yeah, right? If I'm walking down a road and I feel that somebody is behind me, yeah, I'm going to be selfish and I'm going to be like taking care of me only. I'm not going to worry about like, oh, how can I make that person who's going to attack me feel better? No. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish and to protect yourself, right? Sometimes it's okay to be selfish so that you can put your mask on. You can put the oxygen mask on so that you can better help other people. If you're selfless, selfless, you're less of yourself. Are you being your authentic self when you are giving it up? And how does that feel to you? And maybe that feels okay. But does it feel okay because that's just what you're conditioned to? Or how does that really feel? Is it because your religious upbringing told you that you needed to be selfish and to give everything of yourself and to always put other people ahead of you? Or what? Okay, so, and then I want you to know that you can't change what other people think about you. And this is a decision made. This is the decision. So I think it was Wednesday we talked about being a leader and being decisive. This is a decision you get to make about not pleasing others because you can't change what they think about you. So why try? We all know that having political discussions and religious discussions on Facebook never changes anybody's mind. Never, 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 right? But yet we keep trying. It doesn't work. You're not changing anybody's mind, right? You can't help what they think of you. That's on them. That's out of your control. So I always go back to anxiety is being able to identify what you control, what you can't control. So this goes into any situation. You can't control what other people think of you. You can control only how you present yourself, right? I can't control if you think of like, oh, that color doesn't look good on her. I don't care. I like this sundress. You know, I can't control if you like my sign or not. I don't care. I like it. It makes me feel good. Right? I can't care because I can't change your mind and I don't really want to put the time into it. If you don't like the pricing that I have in my business, that's okay. You're not my ideal client. And that's okay. That means nothing about you, right? That means nothing about you at all. You're not a better person or a worse person if you don't like my pricing. I just don't care, you know? And so you can't control what other people think about you. And if you try, you're going to burn out because that's your people pleasing. You're just trying to please everybody else except yourself. But Chaz, my kids, your kids, right? And this is like real. A lot of us are moms, right? And we want to help our kids. And that's our job as our parent, as being a parent. That's our role as a parent, is to like teach our kids and to guide our kids to be wonderful humans, right? As they grow up. And like, but there's a difference between like doing everything to pleasing them and teaching them. So if I'm trying to please my kids, I will do whatever the heck they ask me to do. Can you make me breakfast, Mom? Yep. Are they ever learning how to make their own toast? If I'm always making toast for them? No. I gotta set the boundary and be like, okay, here's how you make the toast. Okay, I got an air fryer. So I'm like, I don't want to be the only one who knows how to use an air fryer in my life. That's not what it's for. So it's like, here, children, here's how you use the air fryer so you can make your own lunch. Right? You teach so you don't have to please them. I'm not giving away myself, my time, my energy to go make chicken nuggets. Not for my teenagers, for my 3-year-old, yeah, okay. I don't have a 3-year-old anymore, but back in the day. But yeah, so you teach people how you want to be treated. And those are your boundaries. And you have to teach people that, right? So I have to teach people that I'm not going to text you after 9. And that's on me if I do, and then I feel bad about myself, right? Because that's my boundary. I don't want to be texting clients really like after 6, because that's my family time and that's me time, right? So set your boundaries on your work hours, set your boundaries on your pricing, set your boundaries on how your clients are allowed to contact you, to treat you, to talk to you, to pay you on time, whatever. So, because everybody's business is going to be different like that, but it is very helpful to write out your boundaries and then to communicate that to your clients, to your family, to the people, right? If you don't communicate them, then they don't know, right? So can't blame them when they overstep your boundaries that weren't communicated, right? So you got to communicate your boundaries. And so I was like, okay, you can't like book a call with me every day. If it's an emergency, yeah. But if it's just an update, no. Oh, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. Cool. No love lost at all. Boundaries are set. All good. More respect on both sides, right? So are there any questions that are coming up? Because those were the questions that I had in the group. Any other questions that you would like answered? And it can be like anything related to marketing. It can be related to business. It can be related to finances. It can be related to, like, I do a lot of like the mindset and energetic stuff and how to feel into different things. Or maybe it's about being your authentic self and being activated. What would you need today? What would you need to know today that would like change your business? Ooh, that's a good question, Chaz. What would you need to know today? What would you need to know? Like, I'm asking you, like, what would you need to know today that would change your business? Looking. So, here to answer any questions. So, fantastic. As you think of questions to ask, Some other questions that might come up are like, okay, what are some mindset activities that I can do? What are some mindset activities that I can do to keep my mindset right? So, first of all, what does it mean to you to have a good mindset? What does it mean to you to have a good mindset? What are those indicators of success? You can't just say something, it's like, oh, I want to be successful. Well, what does it mean? What are your indicators of success? Right? So what does a good mindset look like to you? Okay, so maybe a good mindset means that you're not worrying. Okay? So how can you not worry? How can you not stress out about your business? Does anybody worry about getting their next client? Anyone? Anyone? Put your hand up if you worry about how you're going to get your next client. Okay, so the worrying part is the stuff that you can control. The getting the client part, not so much. So my one friend, she's like, you can focus on taking out the arrow and shooting the arrow. You can't quite, control where that arrow is going to land and when. Right? You don't know the exact moment, but you can control picking up the arrow. And so, yeah, you can control what you're going to worry about and what you're not going to worry about. When COVID first started, I had to have the talk with myself about this because you're so bombarded with all the news that basically the world is ending and it's spiraling out of control. And as an empathetic person, I'm like, ugh, like the anxiety was high. And it was like, I had to be like, okay, what can I do about this? I can't change what's happening out in the world. I can't. I can't change the political atmosphere. I can vote, but we're past that. I can't change whatnot. What can I change? How I feel and what my thoughts are. 100% I have control over changing that. So I can catch myself when I'm worrying about like, what are the effects of COVID going to have on my life, on my business, on my kids? Like my grandma used to say, like, and had a sign that's like about worrying. Like, why worry? Why worry? You worried about yesterday, you worry about tomorrow. You can't change any of it, so why worry? Something like that. I should find that quote because I'm sure it was just a quote that was on our wall. But anyways, but that's always stuck with me. It's like, why worry? But you have to catch ourselves in that state, right? When you find that you can't sleep because you're worried about like how you're going to pay your bills in your business. What can you control in that situation? You can control if you worry about it or not, and then what you're going to do about it, right? And doing that before bed is never helpful. So have the piece of paper beside the bed so you can write that out and get it off your mind. All right, so that's my biggest thing with worry. And I speak that from experience too, of like choosing not to, identifying when that thought comes. So this is a big part of all my teaching and my coaching is like identifying that thought and then it's making you feel like anxious, like a literal sickness in your stomach and in your chest, like identifying that feeling and saying, okay, thanks, Chess, that you have the courage to admit that you're feeling that way. Now let's choose another thought. So I'm going to choose to turn off the TV so I don't hear the COVID noise. I'm going to choose to not worry about if I'm going to get a client tomorrow or not, because it doesn't make a difference if I do or if I don't. So why do it? I'm going to choose to trust that the universe and God are bringing me clients whenever I want. whenever is the best timing. The right people come to you at the right time. And that's the new thought that you have. The right people come at the right time, and you just trust. And that feeling is the light as the feather feeling. It's going to happen. Do you have to practice that? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. You got to tell yourself that lots of times. You got to feel that. Feelings are what brings manifestations. Not the positive affirmation, but the feelings behind it. Okay. What do we got for questions? Any scrolling? Okay, coolio. Anyways, so if you do have any more questions, feel free to send me a DM, send me a message. Always happy to answer. And I'm going to be doing the Activated as Fuck program again next week, next Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern. And if you can't, you can always make the replays. And because it was so good. It was really good. And I want to help you turn on the light switch to your soul, to not be the victim anymore, and to activate the power within you to create the life and the business that you're meant to live. That's my message. That's my irresistible offer. Back to the beginning of our conversation, right? So you can either join that. So there's 3 ways you can actually work with me. So you can either join the Activated as Fuck class next week. Okay, that's going to be $55. Or you can join the Activated Academy, where you get access to all the classes that I teach. And I teach like about once a week. And I'm going to start doing more longer programs. Plus, I already have like 12 guides in there on how to start your business, how to scale your business. Okay, so that right now is $297 a month. Or you can work with me one-on-one. And in the Activated Academy, we also do like a group call once a week and one-on-one call a month. So totally worth it. Totally worth the $297, man. Totally. Okay. Or you can work with me one-on-one. That's my favorite. Because that's where we get to be like super close. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyways, hope you find something fun that activates and lights up your soul today, whether that's in your business or in your personal life. Usually if you do it into your personal life, it overflows into your business. But do something that lights you up and makes you feel light as a feather. That's the whole purpose of this Activated program, is to help you feel light as a feather, help you feel energized and electric like lightning bolts, so that you can create the life that you're meant to live, and you can live the life that you're meant to live. Who doesn't want that, man? Who doesn't want that? Right? All right. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of the Activated as Fuck program. Hope to see you next week in the Activated as Fuck program. And yeah, hope to see you in the Academy. All right. So send me a DM if you have any questions, and we will chat later. Bye.